and good morning, and thank you so much for joining us here on Good Morning Aurora. My name is Diana Soerens, and I am going to be here this morning talking about homeschooling and all the amazing homeschooling resources that we have here in the amazing city of Aurora. So why don't we start with a little introduction of the guests that we have here this morning. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about your how long you've been homeschooling and what that looks like for you.
Well, good morning. I am Rachel Cleghorn, and I'm fairly new to the homeschool journey. We are 2.5 years new to homeschool.
Awesome. And I'm also joined here by, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Stefanie Caterer. I work in the Children's Department of the Aurora Public Library, Santori main branch. I've worked there since February of 2022, and I also homeschooled my 2 kids who are now post-homeschooling age. And so I brought homeschooling programs into the library since being on staff. Yeah. And met Diana and Rachel.
Well, I think that it's important to start with why we homeschool and why homeschooling was the best choice for our family. I think it's important to start this conversation with just acknowledging what a privilege it is. And I know I speak from a place of privilege that I'm able to homeschool my kids and that I have the resources and education that and just economic privilege to be able to do that. And I know there's a lot of people who would love to homeschool who just simply can't for economic reasons. So, but for our family, we chose to homeschool. Our kids were enrolled in public schools, and they just were not giving our kids the educational experiences and opportunities that we hoped for them. We just chose to homeschool because we believed that education should be richer and more expansive than traditional schools allow. Our vision was really to immerse our kids in hands-on learning and meaningful discussions and diverse life experiences. We wanted them to have more opportunities to explore their passions and to master essential life skills and to grow into confident individuals who love learning and embrace who they are. And above all, we just strive to create a delightful, elongated childhood where there's just more time to play and be outdoors and just have a childhood filled with love and support and unforgettable family bonds and travel. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why we chose to homeschool. My kids are 12, 10, 8, and 5. So we are in the thick of education, just their primary years, and really just developing that love of learning in that sweet spot right now. So we haven't hit some of the harder choices of high school and homeschooling through high school yet. And I know there's parents who could talk to that and have a lot of questions about that. But right now where we are loving learning and being at home. Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit about why you chose to homeschool?
So, well, as a former educator, it was a big decision for my husband and I. It took a lot of prayer. We didn't go into this thinking that this is what we're going to do forever. We're definitely open-minded to change. Yeah. And every year we ask the kids, hey, are you sure you want to do this again? Mm-hmm. And every year we get pretty much the same or similar answers from them. And it's, I love freedom learning, and I don't want to be at school for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why we pulled our children from the district was similar to what you have, but it was also because my husband is also, an educator. He works in the district. He's a basketball coach for like 20 plus years or something. Oh. My kids learned differently. And I felt like that if we were able to hone in on that and be able to allow them to just to excel and to succeed in life, by life skills and by learning and embracing their own skills and potentials, that is what we wanted to do. And again, it's a big sacrifice that we are blessed to be able to do. So is homeschool for everyone? No. Is it for us? Yes. Mm-hmm. And is it working? Absolutely. And so I really feel that just in these short 2.5 years, I have seen a tremendous change within my children. I have bigs and littles. Mm-hmm. So my 2 older ones are adults, and then these little ones, I have an 8 and 10-year-old. I just feel that, watching them, develop into these little people, I don't think that I would have ever seen that if they were enrolled in a school district. Mm-hmm. But also knowing that that they could literally learn by how they are, born to learn. Like MJ is very artsy. Mm-hmm. Maxon is very outdoorsy. So they both are, 2 different kids, and being able to implement that in their curriculum is beyond a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that we're able to custom tailor our education, the education for our kids, for their strengths, for their mm-hmm. interests, and that you can do so much more in so much less time. Yeah. So that you have more time to do the things that they enjoy.
A couple of examples. We literally do school daily. Mm-hmm. We go to the grocery store and we're doing, math, economics, life skills, etc. Mm-hmm. If we're outside, playing in the yard, there are so many things to discover. Just like the other day, it was so amazing to me that Maxon comes to me and he's like, "Mom, come over here, look in this tree." I had no idea what it was. And he, amazed me because he was like, mm-hmm. "That is a squirrel's nest." And I'm like, I think I learned that one time ago, but it was kind of cool to remember, to have a reminder from your children mm-hmm. of how they're learning and how just being outside and, being in nature even, mm-hmm. they're Absolutely. Absorbing knowledge.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what a typical day looks like for you?
Ooh. So days, I don't have like a hurry, like we kind of unschooled our minds from like, you got to get up, you got to go. So the rush, it's gone. So it's more of a peaceful morning. So we're up and going by 9 o'clock. Okay. So 9 o'clock is breakfast, shortly after that, they go right into their schooling. And then certain days, if we have co-op groups, that are optional. But during those co-op groups, we kind of just do school later. Yeah. So a day in our life is freedom learning. It literally is. We're gonna go with the flow. Even if there's a day where there's just today's work is just not gonna happen, there's no stress because we can do it later.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Our days are really similar. I love that we have gotten rid of the rush, hurry, where's your shoes, where's your backpack, getting out the door in the morning, that I don't miss. Mm-hmm. And so now we start every day with what we call cozy time. Yes. And that's something we really love, especially in the winter, when just get your mug of hot cocoa mm-hmm. and wrap in a blanket and snuggle a kitten. And we start our school days with our Bible study and mm-hmm. our history read-alouds and our literature read-alouds while we're cuddled up together on the couch. So it's just really a sweet, sweet time. And I know that that's something I hope that I really treasure, and I hope my kids will always remember. Mm-hmm. And I just love that we have been able to discover so many amazing books and authors in that time. We have time to read together every day. So we read, so that's for me as a parent, I think that you have to kind of play to your strengths. Mm-hmm. I am also a former teacher, and I went to a liberal arts college, so I love literature and history, mm-hmm. and that's my strength as a teacher. So I play up that. And so we read a lot together, and then we move to what we call table time, where we do math and grammar and writing and science. And we're usually done with the academic portion of our day by noon. And then in the afternoons, we are free to go play outside. That's when we have our library meetups, and we meet up at playgrounds, or they do their independent play, or they work on their independent projects, or they have their sports and their clubs and their play dates. And we just, And then we're done with all that sort of thing, and we have family dinner together almost every night, and we have a regular bedtime. And I think that's just been such a gift to have that structure and routine in our home as a family. And I know that it's just so healthy for the kids to have that regular routine as well. So
we definitely have a similar, I mean, I don't have the notes, but yeah, we kind of wake up in the morning and we start off with our prayer, and then we go into, we actually have a curriculum that we pay for, so they do their curriculum online, but it does come with PDFs as well. And it is a credible school as well, and then we add on to it. But yeah, God is the forefront of our lives, so we definitely start everything off with God being the beginning of our mornings. So I love that.
Yeah, and I love that we have something that we can do as homeschool parents, is teach our kids our values and incorporate that into our schooling. So you said that you use, I think what I get a lot of questions about when people ask me about homeschooling is like, what curriculum do you use? And the people get very hung up on this idea of like, we have to like meet some state standards or teach to a certain regimen or use certain books that are approved by some board of education. And I think it's important to know, in the state of Illinois, there is actually no current regulation on homeschooling. So you unenroll your child from school or don't enroll them in school, and there's really nobody who's going to check up on you, or like you don't have to turn in any forms or show any reports currently. And there's pros and cons to that. And there is some talk right now in the state about regulating homeschooling more, and that's not what we're here to talk about. But the good thing is that you have a lot of freedom. You can teach at your kids' level, whether they're advanced or they need extra help, and that's huge for us homeschool parents, because you don't have that in a public school one-size-fits-all classroom. So we tailor our education, and you can choose the books that you like, books that match your family's values, and books that interest your kids. And so I know for our curriculum, I pick and choose things from all sorts of places. There are a lot of homeschool curriculums published or online available. We found some history-based writing lessons that we really like, published with IEW. We've been using a science curriculum that I found, neoscience. We use math with confidence books. So it's different places. There's not like a one site where we access everything. And there are a lot of discussion boards online and different homeschool groups that can give you all the lists of things to check out. So that is one thing I would say. It takes time to find the curriculum that works for you and for your family and for your time, and whether it's open or go, where you have to prepare stuff ahead of time, you have to figure out what works for you.
I believe go
ahead. One last thing on that is, a lot of times I'll pick a book like our history books. We use Story of the World, but that we use that as what we call like a spine, and I build off of that. So I find, that's kind of a jumping point, and then there's so many other resources we bring in, other books, other literature, and then travel and field trips. We go on field trips all the time and to see and experience what we're learning about in school. So Rachel, why don't you tell us what you use in your online curriculum?
Well, we use My Academy.
Okay.
And it's very simplified, very affordable, and my kids love it. So there is an instructor, but it's video, it's not live. So that is great, because then they have the capability of doing it whenever. Again, it comes with the PDFs to print out that go along with that. Sometimes the PDFs are necessary and sometimes they're not, or sometimes I implement something more to that as well. Yeah, and you have to figure out what works for your family. Like, I really love like the screen-free. We try to be screen-free as much as possible in our home, just because it's just not good for my kids and their little brains. It wouldn't work for our family, but for online schooling, sometimes like that's a great option for some families. So you just have to figure out what works for you and for our families. Yeah. So we actually monitor the screen usage.
Yeah.
So we really are big on screen usage as well. But we know that my boys know that screen time is school time.
Yeah.
And then because we have Chromebooks, I have the capability to monitor everything. And in the curriculum as well, I have access to all the files, and I go along with them as well. Yeah. There are days where I'm busy and I can, don't have to sit with them, but then there's other days where I just want to sit with them. So either way, they could do it on their own, which simplifies it for them. But the majority of the time, I'm doing things with them. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with the screen part. And again, it is, different homes.
Yeah, what works for you?
Yeah, and I mean, I have a lot of friends who are doing the unschooling version, the complete unschooling version, which is nothing. What is it? More like no.
Unschooling looks different for every family, right?
Okay, okay.
But it really is kind of encouraging kids to explore their interests.
If I can bust in on the curriculum, especially for younger kids, and through high school, at the library on our website, we have so many databases that families can use. One of them, with an Aurora Public Library card, you have access to Scholastic Teachables, which is fantastic, and they have printouts, and you can just put in the age of the child and the what you're wanting to teach. Like you could do fall or why leaves change, and they have little worksheets and really great enrichment and teaching tools to use. We have Mango, which is language-based, all free for library customers. So it's like, use your library website, not just, the brick and mortar buildings. There's so many things on there. Tutoring, we have free tutoring coming in. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening. Yeah. You don't have to do it alone, and it doesn't have to cost money.
Right. And talking about curriculum, sometimes it can be really expensive, but I would just say, maybe, Steph, this would be a great time for you to talk about more of the things that are available at the library, because I don't feel like homeschooling has been a financial strain on our family because of the library. I think we check out 1,000 books a month, and I'm not even exaggerating.
No, she does.
We tap the interlibrary loan. There's another one. There's the Illinois one and the Rails, and hopefully you can tell me the difference of those, but I use both. And our books, sometimes my history books has like a list of recommended reading that's not available at the Aurora Library, but it is available in Des Plaines, and they'll ship me the book for free.
Yeah.
You can find everything at the library. So, Steph, can you tell us some more of the things that the library offers for homeschool families?
I think that's a really good point, is if we don't have it, because we, of course, cannot house every book that's ever been written, but if we don't have it, we can get it for you, and that's definitely a value for us and most libraries, but definitely at Aurora Public Library. So when I started in 2022, I realized, hey, there's not really homeschool programs going on here. Can we do this? And so they kind of just gave me the run of, they gave me freedom to do what I wanted to do, being a homeschool family or a previous homeschool family. So here's what we've got going. We offer monthly homeschool huddle enrichment programs, and we focus on different things: STEM, art, history, sometimes just plain old fun. We offer a monthly homeschool book club for grade levels, reading levels 3rd through 5th, which has been such a great way for kids to read and then be able to process what they read with each other. So I love our book clubs. We do activities, and we always have snacks. So that's been really, really great. We've offered game clubs. We offer a once-a-year book swap where books and curriculum materials you can drop them off and pick them up. And we had community partners. We had an info panel. So lots going on at the library. It's on our website. We have a page dedicated to homeschool offerings on our website. So in 2022, I think we did 3 programs that year. We had 62 participants. 2023, 230 participants with 9 homeschool huddle programs. Now this year, we're going to have offered by the end of the year 8 homeschool huddles, 4 game clubs, 9 book clubs, a book swap and info panel, and we will have served about 450 homeschool participants in 2025, which is just amazing. And I've gotten to know so many great families, and I've gotten to help so many families with something so important, which is the education of their kids, which is really why we're here. So that's been wonderful. I love supporting Aurora's homeschool community. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, a few other things that the library offers
Yes.
that the homeschool families absolutely need to tap are the STEM kits.
Yes.
We love those.
We checked those out. Those were great for our science units. The online apps Hoopla and Libby, we do a lot of audiobooks. That's what when we're driving around in the car to our different activities, we listen to audiobooks. And then you mentioned the online databases. My kids love the Creative Bug is a database for crafts. We use that one. But there's also a lot of other homeschooling things going on in Aurora. The library is a great landing place, and that's where I've made a lot of awesome connections with other families in book club and homeschool huddle, and my kids love going to the programs there. It's a great community for us. I formed an online Facebook group for Aurora homeschoolers where I met Rachel through there. But also through the homeschool network, we've gotten involved in co-ops, which is like where homeschool families get together and do activities for their kids. I'm involved in one where there's like 25 families that work together to do what you would call like electives or your extras at school, like art and science experiments and cooking and crafts and gym class and that kind of like extra fun things. So we do that on Friday mornings. There's the Park District, Fox Valley Park District, just started offering homeschool kind of sports classes that my kids are doing. They're doing homeschool sports and homeschool swimming on Wednesdays.
They just started that, right?
Yeah.
I just saw an ad for that where they're doing an hour of sports and an hour of swim.
Yeah.
And
My
it's
kids
just-
grew up in Elgin, and we did that once or twice a week, and it was so good.
It's definitely a hit because I try to enroll and there's no spots left.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
good.
That's great.
Way
Yeah.
to go, Park District.
So that's a good point that there are so many families in our area that are homeschooled. And I think that that's one of the main reasons why we wanted to talk about this today is because I don't think that there's enough awareness in our community. There's not enough support in our community. I definitely have reached out to different officials, including the mayor, and the feedback wasn't exactly what I expected. So I would love for, just to have a little bit more support in our community.
Well, we definitely at the library want to support you. We want, our strategic plan is to empower and include and to help you innovate. We like to reach out and welcome everybody, and homeschoolers are great families. They come during the day, which we love.
We love the library.
And you check out, Diana said, 1,000 books per month, and we want you to know we're here for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
thanks.
we've joined a lot of things from the library. The library have saved us for so many things. And again, with the books, and I do see a lot of events. But in the years that I have been homeschooling, I have had to outsource to different communities because our community doesn't have that much homeschool.
Yeah, one thing I'd love to see in Aurora is there's, the public schools should be more accessible to homeschooling families. I wish there was kind of more of an a la carte option at the public schools where we could easily participate in things. And you can legally, but you do have to seek it out and kind of run your questions up the flagpole. And it's hard to access the public school resources as a homeschool family. It's not accessible. So I wish
Right.
that was something that was easier for homeschool families to get involved with and either enroll part-time or just do clubs or just do sports. And I found that to be very hard. And just, it's hard. If it's hard, then we don't do it.
Right.
And that's what I love about the library is it's easy and accessible, and there's so
Yeah.
many people who are ready to help you. So
Right.
I wish that the public schools had kind of more of that mentality.
And I think the more you advocate for yourself in public school, the more separate families, different families come up and say, hey, can we do this? Can we do this? Then, they might get on board more. And we definitely
Right.
did that. My daughter did band for a couple years in a public school while we were homeschooled in, not in Aurora, but yes. I think you just have to
it is possible.
You got to get there.
But you got to knock on doors.
You got to knock on
I
doors.
mean, and the reason why I bring this up is because it is a financial. It's financially, hard on us. But we're making the sacrifice for the best of our children. But something as simple as having a hotspot, I was denied from the school district. I mean, that's so simple.
Yeah.
I could have returned it. So because of the library, we're
We
able
have
to check
hotspots.
it out.
hotspots.
But their
hotspots.
waiting list is out the door. So we're always on the waiting list. Thank you for that. As well as I want to thank your staff as well, because the first year of homeschooling for us, we needed a computer because we only had one at the time for the children. Your technology department allowed us to hold it a little bit longer than
So
most,
great.
just because of that, and
great.
that was amazing. So again, those are simple things that if we had the support within our community, within our districts, it would be great.
Yeah.
Another resource we have to bring that up is we have a library of things.
Yes.
So you can check out sewing machines, fishing poles.
Yes.
So look for the library of things at the library. It's not just books and
Yes.
movies and CDs, or music.
With our last couple of minutes, I would love to just take a chance to promote some of the awesome things going on in the homeschool community upcoming. So if you're homeschool curious and you want to learn more about what's going on in the homeschool community and you want to check out some of our events at the library, on November 20th, we have a homeschool history fair that I started last year, and I'm so grateful that the Aurora Public Library has picked up the baton on it, and they are hosting our history fair on November 20th. In the afternoon, it's going to be a wax museum, so focusing on biography, and it's a great opportunity for homeschool kids to showcase what they've learned and what they're interested in and what they're interested in researching.
Public welcome.
Yeah,
To come
and so
see the
everyone's-
kids dressed up as a historical figure.
Yeah, so everyone can come see that. And the Aurora Library also is running a short story contest. Steph, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, November is novel writing month. So every year I put on a short story contest. We're going through 8th grade this year. So I believe it's 3rd through 5th grade and 6th through 8th grade are two different age ranges entry that you can enter into. And so write a story, 1,500 words or less, submit it to your branch, and there are prizes, and you get your story published on our website. So exciting. Keep writing.
And that's for everyone, not just homeschoolers. It's for
That's
everyone
for
in
everyone,
Aurora. So
yes.
public school, private school, everybody write a story this
Although
month.
the last 2 years, homeschoolers have won.
Yeah, and I have 3 homeschoolers entering, so we're
Great. Love it.
we're gonna show up. If I just could give one final word of advice to homeschool families or people who are interested in homeschooling, it would be it is possible. It looks different for every family. I know families who both parents work and still are able to homeschool. I know families where one parent stays home. I know kids who are able to come to work with it. Every homeschool family, every homeschool looks different, and what works for us isn't going to work for you. There is a huge network of homeschool families in the area that would love to talk to you and give you advice or resources. So join the homeschool Facebook groups. They're a super supportive
Yes.
community out there, and just know that you can do it. You are your children's first and best teacher
Yes.
as a parent, and you know what's best for your kids. So
We absolutely do.
yeah, you can do it, and we'd love to support you.
Yeah, we're here.
Feeling bullied by your bank?
Hey, I got a random overdraft fee.
You've reached our main menu. If you're disputing an overdraft fee, please press 4. Or just hang up and call back tomorrow.
Are you pretending to be a robot?
Goodbye.
Stop banking the same way expecting different results and start banking where you matter. Wintrust. Different approach.